Hit the like button to sweep obstacles out of your way, and drop your zodiac sign in the comments. Doing that helps lock this forecast onto you personally. For Sagittarius, 6 October doesn't start with plans or a burst of inspiration. It starts with an inward turn. You wake up, and, though nothing has happened yet, something inside is already clear. The day won't be ordinary, not because the world has shifted, but because you are. There's almost no rush in this day. Even if people around you are hurrying, you'll notice you don't want to jump into that race. It's as if life is saying for the first time in a long while, don't sprint, don't fire at the target, just look at where you are. It feels unfamiliar. You, as a Sagittarius, know how to move forward. You always see the horizon. But on 6 October, the horizon turns inward. It's less, where am I going, and more, what am I running from? That pivot can become the moment you realize, you don't want to keep searching endlessly. Morning might begin with a touch of apathy, or conversely, with heightened sensitivity. A word, a look, a pause could wound. Or someone may say something simple, and you'll suddenly hear much more inside it. This is not random. 6 October is a day when the soul hears with uncommon clarity. That's why it's important not to scatter your focus or overload yourself with chatter and tasks. The best thing you can do in the morning is pause. Don't rush to conclusions, don't hurry into action. Sit with yourself, breathe, feel your body, listen to your heart. Sagittarians often fear that if they aren't moving, they're losing. But today, turning inward may bring more than 10 steps outward, because you're not losing yourself. You're returning to yourself. Unexpected thoughts may surface, questions you haven't asked in a long time. Am I doing the thing that's truly mine? Do I actually want this? Why must I always be strong, upbeat, decisive? If you don't run from these questions, a priceless kind of awakening can happen. Today isn't about victories, it's about inner clarity. If you allow yourself to be something other than the perfect version, if you let the real you show, the one who is not all-powerful, not forever certain, not the eternal inspirer but a living, vulnerable, deep human, strength will quietly return to you. If you begin the day in solitude, it will steady you. A solo walk, writing a letter to yourself, music that makes you want to cry, silence in which you can hear your own heart. These are the best practices for the morning. Sagittarius needs to be heard, but even more, to hear themselves. If this morning you take even one step toward inner honesty, it can mark the beginning of a profound turn in your life. By midday, quiet may shift into a light unease, as if something is brewing, though you don't yet know what. Many Sagittarians know this feeling well. You sense change before it arrives. It isn't fear, it's like the wind that comes before rain. You don't see the drops yet, but the air is already different. The world around you may begin to act oddly. People become less predictable. Someone who is usually talkative falls silent. Another talks too much, as if hiding emptiness behind words. It may feel overwhelming because you're sensing more than usual. You might realize you've been playing a role, not because you wanted to, but because it was easier. Sagittarius often becomes a light for others, supporting, inspiring, keeping the atmosphere bright. But today you may feel that you need to be heard too. If that feeling arises, don't push it away. It isn't a whim, it's your soul saying, I don't want to give only, I want warmth as well. In the afternoon, a few paths are possible. You might feel a sharp urge to step away from socializing. You might suddenly feel tired of people. Or, on the contrary, you might ache for closeness, for eyes that really see you. Any of these states is true. Don't try to be convenient. Allow yourself to be genuine. That's your strength today. Relationships are especially highlighted now. Whether you're coupled or not, everything tied to intimacy is activated. You might suddenly notice that with a certain person you haven't actually been close for a long time. You're physically near, but your soul is quiet. Or you may realize that someone by your side has been looking at you warmly all this time and you hadn't noticed. 6 October doesn't demand decisions. It asks for attention to truth. Without drama, without forced conclusions, simply feel, who am I well with? Where am I pretending? Who hears me and who only listens? Where does my energy leak away, and who helps me be myself? You may feel a deep inner fatigue, not physical, but from living too long in the mode of until I can do everything, it'll all work out, onward. Now the body says, can I just be? You can. This day supports any practice that brings you home to yourself, a warm bath with music, meditation with no expectations, a short walk with nowhere to get to, writing a letter that begins, and I feel, and then continuing. Above all, don't push away what rises. Even if it's tears, anger, longing, or confusion, these are signals that you are shedding an old image and stepping into a new version of yourself. Sagittarius always wants to know where they're headed. But today is about depth, not direction. It's not about how fast you go, but how true the path is to you. Evening can become a real mirror, not warped, not distorted, but honest. In it you'll see not just who you are today, but who you've been all along beneath the masks, behind the words. Beyond the constant motion forward, there is a touch of magic, to this day. And after sunset, it reveals itself more fully, as if the unnecessary quietly recedes, and what matters remains. Who truly needs you? With whom are you genuinely close? Where do you feel warm, and where do you only drain your energy? Evening can make these answers especially clear. You may notice how tired you are of being the one who's always on, always supportive, always lifting others, while you end up in second place. Today a decisive phrase might be born, and I want to be thought of first too. It isn't easy for Sagittarius to admit need for a kind word, for attention, for silence where nothing is demanded and you're simply welcomed. But this honesty is the doorway to freedom. When you admit it, you begin to open for real. Honesty in relationships is especially important tonight. Whether you speak or remain quiet, what matters is what you feel. If you're next to someone with whom you can be yourself, value it deeply, not with a perfunctory thanks, but with reverence. Because with such a person you can drop your guard. That's rare. If no one is beside you, don't rush to fill the space with random chats, calls, or noise. Tonight, solitude isn't emptiness. It's a meeting with yourself, a dialogue you've postponed, words that no one else can say to you but you. Say them. Say, and I see how tired you are. You've carried so much. I won't leave you. Feel how something inside softens, warms, and loosens. Simple physical care matters. Sagittarians often live in the head, in ideas, in motion, while the body is forgotten. This evening your body may remind you, I'm here, wrap me, stay with me. Don't rush, make tea, put on something warm, walk barefoot on the floor, sit in silence. These are not small things, they are your return to yourself. By the evening of 6 October, one powerful feeling may rise, and I don't want to pretend anymore. That doesn't mean you'll rush out to change everything. It means that for the first time in a while, you've felt your own truth. And that's where the real begins. You might want to write to someone, or delete a thread you've kept just in case. Do what resonates, not out of hurt or pride, but out of a desire to be free from expectations. When night arrives, you may notice how much has grown quieter, inside, around you, in the space itself, as if the world gently says, you did what was needed today. Now just be. No tasks, no decisions. Only a soft sense of being with yourself. This isn't just a night, it's a gentle closing of an inner cycle that lived in you for a long time. A cycle where you needed to be strong, certain, inspiring. Now you can finally tell yourself, I'm allowed not to know. I'm allowed not to perform. I'm allowed to feel. It isn't simple for Sagittarius to rest. Your nature asks for motion. But on evenings like this, a new kind of strength is born, not the kind that charges ahead, but the kind that stays. Stays with yourself, in the moment, in the simple. If you want quiet, be quiet. If you want the music of your youth, play it. If you want to cry, allow it. Everything rising tonight is asking to be released, not with pain but with warmth. Say simple words to yourself, and I'm here with you. I won't demand that you be strong. You don't have to solve everything. I love you even when you don't know where to go. These words can become your inner anchor. Only those who can be with themselves in silence can then step into the world without losing who they are. If someone is by your side, be there not just with your body, but with your soul. You don't need big conversations. Sometimes one look is enough. Sometimes a hand on the shoulder says more than 1,000 words. Don't be afraid to be soft. Your softness is your maturity. And if you're alone, feel the warmth arriving, not from someone else, but from the fact that you didn't abandon yourself. You chose to stay with yourself to the very end. That choice changes everything. Close your eyes not with the thought, it didn't do enough, but with the feeling, NA was alive, I felt. You lived this day honestly. Tomorrow will come without strain, with a different breath, a different meaning, and a different you.